Rumours have been surfacing around Microsoft showing an interest in purchasing TikTok, but how much truth is there in this? How advanced are the talks? And what could the share price do if it does? Hello capitalist investors, thanks for joining me for today's video on the potential purchase of TikTok by Microsoft. Before we get into the video, if you enjoy the content in today's video, please do support me and the channel by hitting the like button and subscribing to be part of the capitalist investor army that are growing on YouTube. We are aiming for 400 subscribers before the end of August, and your help will get us there. So in today's video, talks between Microsoft and ByteDance, the US arm of controversial video sharing app TikTok, have reportedly been put on hold. Well, that's what's being reported by the Wall Street Journal. The software giant was believed to be in advanced talks with TikTok to buy its US arm, but talks are said to have paused after US President Donald Trump opposed the deal on Friday. ByteDance is said to have made significant concessions in a last-ditch effort to win support for the White House by agreeing to creating as many as 10,000 jobs in the US. Trump has been vocal about banning TikTok in the US on the grounds of national security fears after accusing the Chinese video sharing app of collecting Americans' personal data. Voicing his opposition to the deal, Trump told reporters on Air Force One that he preferred to ban TikTok altogether and wouldn't support a sale. Trump's call to ban TikTok came at a time of heightened tensions between his administration and the Chinese government over issues including trade disputes and Beijing's handling of the coronavirus crisis. Any transactions between the two companies could face regulatory hurdles. TikTok saw a spike in users recently due to the coronavirus lockdown, which saw this popular app gain 200 million downloads in the first quarter of 2020 alone. A sale to Microsoft, which also owns LinkedIn, would help the tech giant create a larger presence on social media, an area that's currently dominated by rivals such as Facebook. Acquiring ByteDance would also help Microsoft bolster its advertising business and could help resolve data issues and ease US policymakers' concerns over the Chinese firms operating in America. If the deal does go through, for the roughly $5 billion that is estimated TikTok's US operations are worth, you should be buying Microsoft shares, in my opinion. But why should you be buying Microsoft shares? With LinkedIn slowing down, posting 10% growth in the June ending quarter, the triple-digit acceleration of TikTok's user base could add oomph to the Microsoft, could add and bolster Microsoft's top line. As a privately held company, there is no definitive valuation for TikTok. What's more, the uncertainty around the future of TikTok's US operations makes it actually very hard to estimate. Having said that, I think a good starting point for the value of TikTok's US operations is $5 billion, and I'm going to explain why. ByteDance was recently valued at $50 billion by investors seeking to take over the company, according to a July 28th report in Reuters. 10% of TikTok's monthly active users, that's 80 million out of 800 million in July 2020, and that's in the US. Multiplying the two figures leads me to a $5 billion estimate for the value of TikTok's US operations. Another way of looking at this is to multiply TikTok's 500 million US revenue estimate for 2020, according to the information by rival Facebook's price to sales ratio of 9.7. The result is about 4.9 billion, which stacks up with the 5 billion estimate I mentioned before. So what could the stock price do if the deal goes through? Well, most people think it will increase. Microsoft's biggest acquisition is not paying off as much as it used to. Microsoft paid that $26.2 billion to acquire LinkedIn in 2016, and in September 2020, before the pandemic hit the US, LinkedIn represented almost 6% of Microsoft's total revenue and was one of the fastest growing Microsoft businesses, according to CNBC. Since that pandemic has reduced hiring, which has cut into LinkedIn's revenue growth, resulting in layoffs, on July 21st, LinkedIn announced the dismissal of 960 employees, or 6% of its workforce. LinkedIn CEO Ryan Roslansky said, "Our talent solutions business continues to be impacting as fewer companies, including ours, need to hire at the same volume that they previously did." TikTok's US operations could offset some of this revenue decline and give Microsoft a stronger position in the social media business dominated by Facebook and YouTube. Since the pandemic started, TikTok usage has increased, with the number of active users rising 15.1% between January and March alone. TikTok has benefited from the pandemic. If you look on your social medias, you can see more and more people talking about it and sharing videos that they've made on TikTok. And this has resulted in more American monthly active users and a considerable amount of US revenue. For example, the number of TikTok monthly active users in the US soared at 122% annual rate from 20 million in November 2018 to 80 million in July 2020. And this June, TikTok's US revenue for 2020 was estimated at $500 million, according to the information. Around twice TikTok's $200 million to $300 million in worldwide 2019 revenue. LinkedIn, which generated $6.9 billion in 2019 revenue, according to Statista, grew a mere 10% in Microsoft's June 2020 ending quarter, the lowest rate of growth since Microsoft bought it, according to CNBC. Even though TikTok's US revenues are small compared to Microsoft's $139 billion total sales, its accelerated growth could pay off for Microsoft shareholders. Overall, I think this is an interesting deal to watch out for, and should it go ahead, I do believe it would see an increase in the share price and a positive impact for Microsoft shareholders. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please do hit the like button, do subscribe, and until next time, you've been YouTube, I've been the Capitalist Investor, and until next time, peace!